I'm Selina Power from Superpower Digital. I'm the power in Superpower. I am the founder of this company, so we specialize in website and social media management. Today I'm super excited. I am talking to you about LinkedIn. It's by far one of my favorite social media platforms, and it's actually the highest return on investment social media platform, even by stats. I've been able to get a lot of new work directly from there. I've recruited directly from LinkedIn, and I also was just lecturing at QUT yesterday just on this particular subject. So today I'm talking to you about how to make LinkedIn your #1 referral network. I'm going to be sharing some kind of very beginner tips, but also some really good pro tips. We have, just before we started, I was talking to Rowley and asked him to go ahead and put in a poll just to see how you do go ahead and use LinkedIn. Usually when I ask the question, the answer is I use it as a resume, or I created a profile and I haven't gone back to it. So that's the quick poll that I can see, poll in progress for attendees only.
Yes.
Good. So let's go ahead and proceed. If you can go ahead and fill that out, I'd be appreciative. It gives me a very good idea of who I'm talking to, what kind of level of use that you do have of LinkedIn, and it can also help guide me into what we're talking about today. I do have a couple of slides that are going to be nice and handy, but I think too I'm going to go live to my profile and I'll talk you through everything specifically.
Hi everyone.
So first,
I'm just going to leave the poll up for another 20 seconds, so if you haven't filled it out, could you quickly do that? Because you won't be able to see Selina while the poll's up. So I'll close it in the next 15 seconds.
Okay, so am I happy to continue? Take that as a yes.
Yes, that's fine.
All right, so thank you. So one of my big questions, and I'm not supposed to answer this to yourself, but when you get people that are trying to connect with you, do you go ahead and accept a connection from someone that you don't know? So really think about it. Is it something that you do? So if someone, let's say an SEO specialist, someone who you wouldn't necessarily connect with in your field, you don't know them, you've never met them, if they tried to connect with you on LinkedIn, do you go ahead and say, yes, I agree to the connection? Hopefully your answer is, if I can get there, oh, it's gone. My computer's frozen.
Well, while you're sorting that out, Selina, I'll just bring you up the results for the poll as well. So what do you use LinkedIn for? Thank you for everyone who voted. It's 19%, it's just a resume. 4% I use it to find a job. 22% use it for networking. But 56% of tonight's audience are currently not using it.
Wow! Not using it?
Yes.
Well, you're going to get crazy excited because it has so much potential. So please stay on board, take as many notes as you possibly can, and I'll also share with you heaps of resources. So the answer to my question is, should you go ahead and connect with people that you don't know? Absolutely yes. Say, for example, if you had a personal branded website, so if you are, let's say, a nutritionist or you are a personal trainer, you've got your own website, would you go ahead and restrict the amount of people that can go ahead and see your website content? No. So you shouldn't be doing the same with LinkedIn. So there's a reason why people are trying to connect with you on LinkedIn if they don't know you. So there's several different kinds of people. So there is someone who wants to connect with you directly for business, another person who might want to connect with you for recruitment, and then there might be someone who they might want to connect with you just to be able to see your updates, stay in touch. Now, one thing that I was talking with yesterday, even with some of the students, is they were saying to me, well, listen, I don't want to work, I don't choose to connect with them because I can't do any work with them right now. So don't think about right now. The amount of people that I've connected with that I've thought, oh, listen, you're either working for a sister company that I can't do any work with you, and then within the 6 months something's changed, they've either moved company or they've suddenly geologically moved closer to me, and then now I can actually do work with you. So number one, if right now, go ahead, have a look at the amount of people who are trying to connect with you, and then go ahead and accept that connection. You want to have as many leads as you possibly can. What I like to think about is if you treated LinkedIn as a networking seminar, so we're all at the convention centre in Brisbane or in Sydney, and we're all got the name tags on, we're walking around saying hello to each other, we wouldn't turn around and not shake hands with people that we don't know. So go ahead, make sure that you accept the connections, people that you don't know. What I'd also recommend, and I follow this on in the advanced session, is if it's someone that you don't know, straight after accepting their connection, go ahead, look at their profile and read about them. See if there's something that you can do with them. Can I possibly do work with them? Can we partner up on a particular project? Are you a colleague? Are you a friend? Figure out who they are, what you want to do with them, and if you think that they're a potential lead, then send them a message straight away. Hi, my name is Selina. Thank you so much for connecting with me. I specialize in social media and website builds. Thank you for connecting with me. I would like to catch up for a coffee to talk about ... Go ahead and be the first person to organize a call to action. That's very important. And if it's someone that I don't know, I usually ask the question, is there a reason why you chose to connect with me? This gives me a really good idea as, do they want something from me? Because most people, if from a website standpoint, if they're trying to talk with you, there's either one of three reasons. They're looking for information, they're looking to compare you to someone else, or they're looking to take action. If you ask the question, you'll be able to figure out which of these three categories they are in. So it's super important. All right, let's go ahead and move on. If some of you, and most of you, are using LinkedIn alone just as a resume, today I want you to think about why are you actually on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn does far more than just holding a resume. It is this virtual networking where you can go ahead, shake hands, you can have real discussions with people, you can hire people, you can look for jobs on there, you can share content, and you can be an authority in what you do. And why are you there? Are you looking for leads? So what I recommend, and I do this in all of my sessions, and I'm very sorry if you saw it on Facebook, but I'm going to reiterate it again, you need to have SMART goals. So these are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and also time-bound. So what I mean by that is specific. What do you want to get out of LinkedIn? So let's say, for example, I'm on there for business, and I can say I'm on there to get new leads. Measurable, how many leads do I want to get over a certain period? So for me, I want to have had $75,000 signed off in new leads through Facebook. Is it attainable, through LinkedIn? Is it attainable? Yes, I've already been able to do it. Relevant? Yes, it does relate back to my business goals because obviously you're going to make money to stay in business. And is it time-bound? Yes, let's say I want to have done that in either a 6 or 12-month period. So what I'm going to recommend is if you have a pen and paper, go ahead and write SMART underneath each other, spend a good minute and think, what are my goals? So be specific. Remember, when you're talking about a measurable goal, it has to be a figure. You can't just say, oh, I'm looking to get just extra contacts, or I'm looking to make more friends. No, it's not a measurable number. It has to be an actual number. Because by the end, and if we have something time-bound, so if I said in 6 months I want to have had $75,000 in new contracts that have been signed off, I know that if I get to the 3-month mark, if I'm not at least at the $35,000 mark, then I need to adjust my strategy. So it's my LinkedIn strategy, I need to go ahead and change it. And I need to also consider, well, if I haven't been able to reach that midway goal, was it actually attainable? If in the beginning when you're using LinkedIn, if you don't have very attainable goals, you make them really hard, then there's a very high probability that you're going to have a big abandonment rate. Then you're going to go, listen, it's too hard, I tried LinkedIn for a couple of weeks, it wasn't that fab, and then move on. So you don't want that. So make sure that you have SMART goals, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and also time-bound. So one thing with LinkedIn is you want to think about your personal brand. So now I'm talking to, if you're currently still studying, then you need to start creating this now. Even if you're an alumni, this is, for some of you, this is what you've been kind of labeling as your resume. You need to start filling that with content. So this is when you are selling you. What I sometimes find is that when people go to work with us as Superpower, one thing is they're not choosing to work with a company, they're choosing to work with the people in the company. They're choosing to work with either me, and then I kind of become the linchpin. They don't want me to pass them off because they've chosen to work solely with me inside a company. So, but that's because I've built a very strong personal brand through LinkedIn. So you've got to think you need to be branding yourself. Today we're talking about marketing you. We can also go ahead and market a business, but the number one thing here is we need to make sure that you've got a really good profile photo. So the reason why I've used this image too is if you, the Ann Taylor, the really big sign at the top, that's the sign that says, what's your name? If you've got the lovely photos of Kate Hudson, that's your profile photo. That's one of the number one most looked at pictures that you will have on the internet. So you need to make sure that this is nice, strong, it's happy, it's inviting, and it also represents how you currently look. So please always update this. Make sure that it looks like you, just in case someone meets with you and then they're looking at your LinkedIn profile going, that's not the person I want to meet. So, and then let's consider once you open those doors, they've connected with you, then they want to go ahead and read more about you. They want to be able to see content. They want to be able to see documents and photos and read about your experience. So you want to even think of your LinkedIn personal profile as your own shop. Make it look great from the front. When someone goes ahead and connects with you, then the door's open. You want to make sure you filled your mannequins full of clothes. You don't want them naked. No one likes that. So moving on. So now I've got some tips for your personal profile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to my actual profile. And I will view it as you would see it. Great. So I want to go ahead and show you a couple of really quick tips. I'm going to start from top and I'm going to go ahead and work my way down. So the number one is you have access to a cover image. This is the large image that appears at the top. It looks like some kind of plant and a laptop. There's a couple of really cool things. So you can go ahead and choose what this is. It can be something branded. Let's say, for example, if I was working for Poolworks or Fitness First, then I can easily have Fitness First branding on this. You can, if you Google, you can try and find a Photoshop template, which will show you all the different sizes. So obviously, when you go to a template, mobile, iMac, and then a MacBook Pro, there's obviously differences in sizes. It looks like Twitter, but you will be able to find a standard size which can make sure that if you have any writing on this specific cover image, that it will show up. So go ahead and put a logo, put information about what you currently offer. If you offer, I'm going to run a therapy service or physio, or if it's a specific training that you offer, then go ahead and write this in here. The next thing, if we look down, so you've got your profile photo. So I've got quite a very close-up photo. I wouldn't recommend doing a full length. So do from chest upwards, so it should be just a nice headshot. Usually if you want to show yourself as a professional, if you're a male, try not to have a tie. You want to have a nice open collar and wear very neutral colors. You want to be on either a fairly light background and try not to have your arms crossed. It doesn't make you look available. So it's like a cognitive symbol, so you don't want to have that. The next is we're looking at my name. So you might see something quite funny, and this is the crown that appears. This isn't a mistake. This is actually a wingding. So a couple of years ago, there was an article that I had a chance of reading, and it was talking about how to get more people to go ahead and view your profile. So this is a bit of a hack. So what I did is I went ahead and edited my name. So in front of Selina, on Word, I went ahead and found a wingding that I liked, so it could be a lightning bolt or a smiley face or whatever. Then I copied that because Word picks it up as an actual letter. Then I pasted it directly into my name. So the great thing about this is if you know the psychology of how someone can read a website, it looks like from far away, and if you don't look very closely, it looks like a very big black dot right next to my name. And the good thing is that when you're searching for someone like a social media specialist, it looks different. Your eye is going to be drawn to mine because it looks like an error or it looks like something on your screen. That's the psychology, the reason why I did it. The good thing is too is that when I'm also posting to a LinkedIn group, if you're one of those people that do get the LinkedIn, what's it called, the kind of the news feed that kind of gives you the weekly wrap up of who's posted in there, if I've gone ahead and posted something in there and you're getting that email, when you look at it, you still see that giant black dot, like crown. Your eye gets immediately drawn to my article, and then after doing this, I produced one article, I shared it to 3 different LinkedIn groups that I was in, and then I had a 300% increase in the amount of people that had click-throughs to my site. So it was huge. If you can find a way of doing this, absolutely give it a go. So how I did it was just using wingdings. It's a font. You can also download a whole bunch of different wingdings, even if you're using Mac, like Pages application or Word, and find something that's relevant to you. I usually find that once I've explained this, suddenly a whole bunch of people connect with me, all with different wingdings. So give it a go. It's an awesome hack, and it's probably one of my biggest pro tips. The next thing is I'm a premium member. So there is, and you can see that by looking at where it says Selina Nisbet Power, and then keep looking towards the right. And you can choose to show that or not. What a premium means for me is that if someone goes ahead and views my profile, I can see every single one of those people. So I'm keeping in mind the sales funnel, that we have 75% of people who are looking at me online for information. We have 23 to 24% of people who are looking to compare my service to someone else, and then also a 1 to 2% of people who are looking to take action with me. So sometimes they're not always going to connect with me based on where they are. So they might just look at my profile because I have an open profile, so you don't have to be connected with me to be able to see everything. So I need to be able to know if they haven't connected with me, then I can go ahead and tap them on the shoulder and say, hi, my name is Selina, I noticed that you viewed my profile. Is there anything that I can help you with? This is what I specialize in. And I usually find 80% of the time I get a lot of people coming back to me and they tell me which part they kind of slot into. And this is how I've been able to get so many lead conversions come through, because I haven't just been kind of sitting there and being reactive, I've been proactive. So if you've looked at my profile, I'll probably go ahead and send you a message. So be prepared. Then next, if we go ahead and move down, you can see where I currently work. If you look here, so this is my LinkedIn URL, so it's called a vanity URL. If you go ahead and look at your LinkedIn profile at the moment, if it's like a linkedin.au and then it's got a whole bunch of numbers and symbols next to it, this means you don't have a proper URL. If you have a name like Chris Smith or John Brown, you're probably going to have to find a really cool idea for your URL, like Chris Brown, instructor, or nutritionist, or something like that. So keep in mind there is some kind of Google SEO value here. You want to make sure it's a really good title. If you want to go ahead and edit it, and I'll show you how to do that, you can, bear with me. Cool. Go ahead and when you hover, you can see the settings option here. Click on the settings. And right here is your public profile URL. So this is your vanity URL. Then if you want to go ahead and change it, I'm not going to change mine because I like mine. If you're going to go ahead and change it, just hover on the pencil icon and you can go ahead and write it. It will tell you if it's available or if it's not available. The good thing is that this is a personal URL that can link back to me. So once you've gone ahead and do this, then make sure that your email e-signature is updated, so you've used the LinkedIn icon and it's now clickable to your URL. You can go ahead and add this URL to your business cards. You can add a LinkedIn badge to your website, and this will help people in that information comparison section of when they're trying to choose whether they want to do service with you. So keep that one in mind. And also from that panel, you can choose what someone sees when they see your profile. One of my recommendations is when you log in, you can look at your profile. And so right now I'm viewing this as me, as an editor. Choose to view profile as. So this is what you go ahead and see my profile looking like. If this is coming up as an avatar, which is this grayed out, it looks semi like the outline of a person, that means that you're really unidentifiable. So if you're smiling, if you're nice and happy, it's a trust indicator, and then people are more likely to go ahead and connect with you. So you want to make sure that your photo is definitely appearing here. Contact info, you want to make sure your contact information is up to date. So company website, make sure that it actually links to a real website. Blog, and you can also go ahead and share your blog. And I also have my Twitter handle, so if you want to tweet me, I'm Selina_power. Let's go move down. So from here we then have posts. So these are published posts. They look a lot like blog posts. So right now I've got 1,156 followers. When I go ahead and produce a blog post, every one of my followers, they get an email that says, hey, Selina just posted a blog post. It also appears in this flag area here as a notification. So it's nice and handy. If one of your goals is to be kind of an authoritative figure in what you do, then go ahead and write about it. I'd recommend at least trying to do a published post once a month. It's very good. Next we have our summary. So I did have a slide, but I'm going to move on. One of the recommendations I've got is, if you haven't heard about it, it's called a matchstick pitch. So imagine for a moment that we're all together, we're going to go ahead and strike a match. I'm going to hold it up, and then as it's burning, you need to explain why someone should go with you rather than a competitor. And then by the time you've done that, you should be able to blow the match out without it burning your fingers. So the good thing is, one, it's a tactile experience. The difference here is that if it burns your fingers, then there's a probability that someone's going to go with someone else, just because you haven't got that pitch right. You don't have much space in your summary on LinkedIn. You want to make sure that people go, oh wow, that person is different, or now I know how that person is remarkable in comparison to someone else. And remember, we're still going on that sales funnel, which is information. 23 to 24% of people are looking to compare you to someone else. So in the summary section, we want to provide information. We want to make it very easy for someone to choose you rather than a competitor. What you can also do in the summary area is you can go ahead and upload media items. So you can, and here I've uploaded some of the templates that I've designed. There's a limit at the moment of, I think, 5 that naturally appear, but then you can go ahead and see more. And this is a trust indicator too. So if someone wants to go ahead and go, listen, I just don't know if she'd be very good presenting or building a website, then I'm actually using this as my portfolio. If you are in the health industry, you could be using this as a case study. If you're in fitness, you could be talking about, listen, this was Jane. She had type 2 diabetes. This was her current weight. This was her health. After doing the following exercises, this is what what her body now looks like, and this is her better state of mind, that kind of thing. So it doesn't, and you can add in video also, so videos, photos, PDF documents. So keep that in mind when you're going ahead and adding content to your summary. You can also go ahead and add, I've got a slide here, so you can add slide share. So slide share is, if you're doing PowerPoint presentations, you can easily add them in here. You can also add it to your experience. So you want to make sure that you have filled out most of this area. LinkedIn is good. It does actually tell you how you're going on the scale. So when I viewed my profile as me, I had a panel up here which said I was an all-star. So I will show you that. It'll populate just over here. when it loads, all-star. Cool. So it will also give you prompts too if there's certain things that you need to go ahead and fill out. Moving on, you also have, so I've got quite a lot of photos and video. There is also an option for people to endorse you for particular skills. So one thing is, if you haven't looked at your LinkedIn profile in a while, go ahead and have a look. You don't have to have chosen the skills that people go ahead and endorse you for. I've had someone endorse me for video editing, for startups. I've had some really weird things. What you can do, because you own this Facebook, that you own this LinkedIn account, you can choose which one shows up and then which ones don't. So I've actually had to edit mine because I had a couple of things in there that I don't actually do, that someone has added me for. An endorsement is the equivalent of a like. It's a very quick thing for a recruiter or someone who wants to work with you just to go, yep, this amount of people agree that she is good at the following things. However, a stronger level of endorsement is a recommendation. So recommendations appear here. You can ask to be recommended. So let's say I'm Rowley. At the end of this, I can go ahead and ask to be recommended. So I can go ahead and give that a go. What do I want to be recommended for? Send a particular role. And then I can go ahead and send it on to Rowley. I can see the ones that I've given and also the ones that I've received, which is good. These are really big trust indicators. If you're personally using this as your resume, then this is where all of your referrers should go ahead and populate how awesome you are. If you are in the fitness or medical industry, you should also be trying to get some of your clients to go ahead and review you. One of the strongest areas of review is actually Google reviews. So once you've finished working with a client, ask them to go ahead and give you a Google review. LinkedIn reviews are also, LinkedIn recommendations are also really handy. I was also reading an article today which was talking about search engine optimization on your LinkedIn profile. So when someone goes ahead and searches for you up here, I was searching for Rowley before, when someone goes ahead and searches, let's say for a service, let's say web designer. So if you had that word web designer in your URL, if it was in your summary, if it was all throughout your profile, you have a higher probability of appearing on the #1 search page than someone that is lower down than you. So you want to optimize your account. So after this, one of my big takeaways to go ahead and do is review what you've said on your LinkedIn profile. Make sure it's up to date. Try and think about, if someone was searching for you, what would they go ahead and type in if they wanted to go ahead and use your service right now. And then make sure that that particular word, a keyword, whether it's a long tail, like 2 words together like web designer, if it was a social media specialist, a 3-word or 4-word, make sure that that 4-word is everywhere. So fill it up. Make sure it's in its places. Good. So that's your profile. Now I'm going to give you a couple of hints. So I'm going to go ahead and find a contact that I've got. John Barton. I use him all the time for webinars. We used to work with each other for quite a while. So once you are connected with someone, LinkedIn can actually work as your CRM, which is your customer relationship management system. If you don't already have one, this is actually really handy. So you'll only see this when you're connected, and it appears in this relationship panel. So what I've tagged him currently as a friend. So we don't do work together. If we did, he would be under client, or if he was an employee of mine, he'd be colleague. Now we can also go ahead and add a note about him. So that's actually his coffee order. It's a flat white 1 sugar. When I used to go ahead and get off a bus in the city, there was a coffee shop right there. I used to go ahead, buy the flat white 1 sugar, walk a couple doors down, hand it to him, and then go sit in the meeting. So I could easily pull this up on my phone. It was easy for me to see, and it was a really good way that I could have a reminder. For you, you can put a note about what you've been able to do with that client, how you met. Let's say you've come from a networking conference, you've got 50 business cards. you've now connected with this person, you could easily say, we have met at Silicon Beach, which is a startup event that happens every year. Great, save, and then now it appears. So I'm the only one that can see this. He can't see it. He also can't see what I've tagged him in, and he can't see the reminders. So let's say, for example, if he said to me, hey, Selina, I want to go ahead and do business with you, but I'm pretty busy. Why don't you send me an email next month and we'll catch up? So I've got a couple of options of when I can get that reminder. This will send me a notification up here when the time is due, and it will also send me an email. So let's say, call John to talk about new business. Let's say in 1 month's time. Save. Good. Now I've placed a reminder that will go ahead and send me an email in a month, which is good. I'll delete that. Awesome. Now tagging is really important. So I always recommend that if you do have a LinkedIn account, if you haven't looked at it in a while, that's fine. Go ahead and do an audit of your contacts. So look at who you've got and start to tag them. So you should have 3 major categories. So it's kind of friends, family, client, colleague, potential. So this is someone who you want to go ahead and do work with, but they're somewhere in the sales funnel for you. So you've made contact with them, you're connected, now you just need to find out what you can do with them. So how to do this is if you turn around and go to My Network, Connections. Great, so these are people who are celebrating birthdays. Excuse me. So when I start to hover over them, can you see the option that I get an option to tag? Excuse me, or message. So I can turn around, so we actually are friends, so I can tag her as a friend. Also, if there wasn't a category for her, I can add in a new tag. So now she's appearing as a friend. Now the one thing is, and what I said before, is why you should connect with people, let's say that you don't necessarily think you need to, is things change with their scenario. So let's say in the next 6 months, Kate has now moved from her current position and she's now working with a company that I want to work with, then she's now an active lead for me. So then I would go ahead and change her to sales lead, and then I would take her off friend. Easy. Go ahead. I'd recommend do this at least every 6 months. I try and do mine every 3 months. I definitely got a whole bunch of new contacts, so I need to get on top of that. But this is one way that I have used this as kind of my secret Rolodex. And if times get, if I don't have a lot of clients on board at the moment, then I'll go ahead and do a flick through, and then I might have a chat to them or offer them some kind of incentive to come on board. The next really good thing is groups. So there's a bit of a fun thing about groups that you might not know. So if you want to send an email to someone that you aren't a first degree connection, so Rowley and I are connections, but let's say, for example, if there was someone else that Rowley works with and I would like to connect with them or I want to send them an email, I can't do that. However, because I would need to be their first degree connection. But if you're in a LinkedIn group, if you've had your profile, your actual LinkedIn profile for longer than 30 days and you've been in the LinkedIn group for 4 days, you can send up to 15 free LinkedIn emails to any of those group members for in a singular month. And after that month, it kicks over. This doesn't count, let's say if Rowley and I were chatting back and forth, that counts as one email. So this is one very specific hack. So only pros will really tell you about this. So if there's, and there was a group that I was talking to yesterday, and I was explaining that a lot of American marketers, they talk about this Dream 10 or Dream 100, which are your dream clients or dream companies that you want to go ahead and work with. This is the fastest way to get to your Dream 10 or your Dream 100. Find out what groups they're in, go ahead and make sure that you're in those same groups. The kind of groups that you should be looking at is, let's say, for example, I was looking for fitness. Can you see here? So I've got the difference between companies, I can see groups, and then it also shows me universities, pages, and people. I want to look at groups. If there was a padlock here, that would let me know that it's a closed group. I would have to apply to be a part of the group, but this one seems open. Fitness and health professionals. Let's go ahead and click. Now every group does have some kind of rule as to what you can and can't do. This group is designed to help fitness professionals and trainers connect with industry leaders to receive business building tips and most effective trends on staying fit mentally, spiritually and physically. I can go ahead and ask to join. I won't, obviously I'm not in the fitness industry. They'll look at my profile and they won't agree. There's 72,874 members. Wow. Try and find ones that have a lot of members. You also want to make sure that you have gone into your settings and you're also looking at your group digestion feed. So this is how many emails that you get. You can choose to get, the minute someone adds in a new topic, you can choose to get an email, or you can choose to get like a monthly roundup of here are all the articles, and potentially you can be using this content for your other social media sources, because you want to make sure that you are sharing content. If you want to be an authority, if you want to remind people that you're here, you want to make sure that you're consistently sharing content. And groups is one of the best ways to do it. The other way is set up Google Alerts. Go to google.com/alerts. You can, and this will, if you type in a specific keyword, and I'm going to talk about fitness and health, if I chose fitness and health, it would send me a daily or weekly digest of all the latest articles that have appeared. It will show me the top 30 that feature the terms fitness and health. So that's nice and good. I've had a lot of success out of using fitness of different LinkedIn groups. Not only have I been able to get a lot of brand new contacts, the people in these groups have either been connectors for me. So I've said, listen, this is what I do. Does anyone have a potential lead? And then I get a lot of people who start to refer me to other people. So they end up being connectors for me. And then a couple of the other groups that I've been in, I've been able to get leads directly from that. So that has been really handy. Now moving on, you can also go ahead and if you're currently looking for a position, you can search here. So this is kind of its own like seek.com. So if you were looking for fitness instructor, I'm looking in Brisbane, yes, I'll go ahead and find jobs. Then it will populate all of the options that I do have. I can also use this as an advanced filter. So I can be very specific on where I want to go ahead and work, the kind of companies that I do want to work for, and then I can also narrow it down to how long it has been since it was posted, and there's obviously a lot more options here. So there is actually quite a bit that you can do with LinkedIn. There's also another option, and it's called LinkedIn Pulse. So you used to be able to get access to this through the interests panel, but that's no longer available. What you can do is you can get access to SlideShare. So this is a really good learning tool. You can see other presentations that people have uploaded. You can also go to Learning. So this will link you to lynda.com. You can sign up for free for, I think it's 15 days or 10 days. It will tell you 10 days here. And it's basically these micro courses. It's owned by LinkedIn. You can do courses in creative technology, business, leadership, marketing. Honestly, for 10 days, access this library. It gives you video tutorials. It gives you PDF downloadables. Use it, use it, use it. It's awesome. The other thing I was telling you about was LinkedIn Pulse. So if you're looking for shareable content, so this is my daily news, this gives me a whole bunch of articles that I can even go ahead and distribute. I can read. There's also a LinkedIn Pulse application that you can go ahead and use on your phone, and it's another great way to share content. So I can go ahead and like it. I can also share it on, and it's also a reminder that my LinkedIn profile is consistently moving. If you have Facebook, and you're very time poor, you're sharing content to Facebook, but you also want to be sharing content to LinkedIn, there's another application that I'll recommend. It's called ifthisthenThat.com, which is iftt.com. So what you can do is you can sync up, it's called a recipe, so you can sync up your Facebook with your LinkedIn. So every time that you produce a post on Facebook, it will automatically share to LinkedIn. Obviously, you've got to be mindful there's a couple difference between Facebook and LinkedIn. You can't go ahead and share a photo album. You can go ahead and share a video. It does look slightly different though, and also the way an article would appear is different. In Facebook, there's about a 5,000 character limit. LinkedIn has a much smaller character limit. So if you want to write an essay, probably don't connect them up. But here's a really quick, easy hack if you want to save some time. So Pulse is nice and handy, and I can also publish a post too. So if people have subscribed to hear about, let's say, digital marketing, or for you, fitness, or the health industry, aromatherapy, that kind of thing, then if you publish a post, there's a large probability that other people are also going to see your content. So if one of your goals is to be an authority in this area, it's nice and handy. I am aware there's still so much more I want to share with you, but what I will give you is a couple of my really quick tips. So if you're a beginner, here are recommendations for you, and you can actually download them directly.
Sorry, Selina, we're going okay on questions at the moment. If there are things that you want to go through, we've still got, if you want to go for another 5 minutes, and then we'll do questions at the end. We'll see how you go.
So Cool. So I'll go through the LinkedIn, it's the 5-minute marketing plan. So I created this because I didn't believe that you should have to spend like an hour or two on LinkedIn, and it was the #1 thing that was stopping people from coming to one of my masterclasses. So when I developed this, everyone suddenly went, oh, okay, that's way better. So my recommendation is, if you're a beginner, and I believe that most of you are at the moment, follow this. So in the morning, let's say put an alarm on for 9:30 or whenever you're nice and cozy, and accept your connections on LinkedIn. So, and I can even do this now. So go through, accept connections, and then you can go ahead and for the 3-minute mark here, send them a thank you message. So whether you know the connection or they're brand new, try and do something with them. So there has to be the next step. So hi, thank you for connecting with me. If you already know them, hey, let's catch up for a coffee. If you don't, why have you chosen to connect with me? And then if you think that you can do work with them, then the next step is you organizing a time to meet with them. One thing is, don't say, oh, would you like to meet? Question mark. Their response is going to be a time, your response is going to be yes. This is now 3 steps to go ahead and get that lead. What you want to do is you want to say, listen, here's a time and a place, how about this? Then they can come back and either say yes or no. Then that sales cycle for you has now suddenly shrunk a little bit more, and hopefully you can continue to get more business. The next one here is request one more person to connect with you. So you can do this in, let me go to people you may know. So this is an algorithm that LinkedIn has done that's looking at people that you have in common. So spend a little bit of time and try and increase your connections. You want to get as many connections as possible, so it's nice and handy. Good. Now let's move on to this one. This application, by the way, is called Canva. It's really, really good for creating social media content. It already comes with templates, which is really handy. And it already has the social media sizing. You can create your LinkedIn kind of business page banner if you wanted to. And that's an example of me connecting with someone, finding new connections. And intermediate is check who's viewed your profile. So I was saying that this is one of the big assets in having a paid profile. If you have a free profile, you can see the top 9 people that have viewed your profile. But for me, I can see all of them, which is good. And you can see that from who's viewed your profile. So I can see people, I've got 166 people that have viewed my profile in 90 days. Someone who works at the National Australia Bank looked at my profile. And I could also see, I can see the names of the people that have looked at me. So I can easily go ahead and send them a message. Hi, I realize that you viewed my profile. Hi Jennifer, hope you're on. Thank you for viewing my profile. And I can ask if there's anything that I can do to assist that. So if you want me to go ahead and contact you, view my profile and I'll contact you back. So that's nice and handy. And the next 2 minutes is go ahead and share some content. So either share it directly to your personal profile, share it to an actual published post. So that was what I was referring to. It looks like a blog post. And to do that, all you need to do is go to profile. Write a new post. So it's also called publishing a post. Also today, if you've realised, oh wow, I really want to work on my LinkedIn profile, have a look at this panel here. So notify people when I've changed anything on my account. If you're doing heaps of changes and you don't want to bombard everyone, turn around and hit the no. When you finish your changes, then go back and hit yes. And then you won't be annoying anyone. Next. So this is what I was talking about with if this then that, and a new blog post. So this is an RSS feed. So you can automatically post content directly from your website, usually only a blog, and you can post it either through Twitter or you can post it through to LinkedIn. It's nice to me is there's even a recipe bank where you can see the recipes that other people have made. And you can also do some really cool things on that. So and this morning I got a text it's a free text from If This Then That. I had set it up to say that if the Bureau of Meteorology said that it was going to rain in Brisbane, that I would get an SMS that tells me to bring an umbrella to work, and that's the text that I got this morning. So you can automate quite a lot of things in your life, and you can also get heaps of freebies. So if you're an Apple Store fan, it can send you the free song of the day and also the free app of the day, and it can be automated. So that's a kind of a pro tip for you. And advanced is actually go ahead and produce a published post. So this is obviously more than 5 minutes a day. You need to have prepped it, ready to go, but go ahead and share it. And then organize a catch-up, which is here. Organize a catch-up with one of your contacts. So look through your contact list. You've already gone ahead and tagged them, hopefully, and then filter the ones which are just your sales leads. And then go, all right, who do I need to contact today? So contact one person a day, try and book in a meeting, try and get to that next step so you can then go ahead and secure your client. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you there. Thank you so much for having me. I look forward to hearing your questions. Please ask away. Are there any big ones in there, Rowley?
Nothing too scary. Thank you so much, Selina. I actually thought I knew a fair bit about LinkedIn, so I'm not sure how everyone else feels after that, but it's like maybe I was just using this as a resume and keeping track of some networks, but there's so much more to it, which I had no idea. So I'm sure a lot of people sat back and had a few comments about people need to watch the video over and over again just to learn it, to really take it in. So thank you. I've got a couple of questions to fire at you.
Go for it.
What would you write on LinkedIn if you dedicated or changed your career to nutrition after 15 years in marketing? Would you list your previous jobs?
Yeah, I think people want to know what you previously did, but then I would then adjust your summary. So then I would explain the change. So I'd say after 15 years of marketing, I soon realized that the industry wasn't for me. I was more passionate, and explain that change. This summary area is a very personal area. If you think that someone's going to question something on your digital resume, your LinkedIn profile, then explain it. Explain why. Like, I've had a very colorful career. I was a telemarketer. I've got a theatre degree and an art degree. I don't have a very traditional marketing degree. but if you think it's going to be a question, then write it in your summary.
Yep.
I work with a lot of different companies interviewing their profiles, and a lot of companies have said to me, well, listen, I want all of our employees not to say all their previous history. Well, no, that's actually who they are. So, but just change your summary. Your summary is actually the number one piece of content that someone's actually going to read. People are less likely to look at the next two pieces of experience underneath that. So I wouldn't be overly worried. So just adjust the summary, make sure you're a real person, and it should reflect who you are. So go ahead and do it.
Sound advice. Do you have to have premium to set up a vanity URL for LinkedIn? I'll read this bit.
No.
So fab presentation. I need to be able to watch it over and over to get it all in. So I wasn't just making that up.
No, if anything, and I can even quickly talk you through, I've even got a list, and I was kind of referring to it. There's kind of top 10 takeaways. Customize your profile, add a badge to your profile URL, which is the vanity URL. Add a badge to your e-signature, your business card, or your website. SEO for LinkedIn, SEO being search engine optimization. So keep an eye on those keywords. Share your work samples, testimonials, or case studies. Find jobs. So number 5, find jobs. What are endorsements? So how to manage your endorsements. If someone's endorsed you for something, you can go ahead and remove it. I also didn't tell you this, but you can also export your connections. So let's say if you're moving over to an actual real CRM and you want to download all your contacts, all you got to do is go into your contacts and then you can hover over the settings option, and that will actually show you how to go. It'll say export, and it exports in an Excel spreadsheet, which makes it nice and easy to pull up into like MailChimp or Insightly or whatever CRM that you do have. You can find new contacts, that's really important. Don't be an avatar, which is don't be invisible. Make sure you're showing your lovely face. And join groups. Make sure you join groups. There's heaps of options and there's a lot of content that you can get. It's massively rich. So those are my top 10 major takeaways that hopefully you would have noticed.
Thank you. Wow, so much. So going through another question, is LinkedIn better than Facebook in the current context for marketing one's business?
It depends where you're there. So I'd recommend do that first step of having your SMART goals. So I did some research there actually. So LinkedIn generates the highest generated visitor to lead conversion, which is 2.7%. So this is 3 times Twitter, which is 0.69%. Facebook is actually 0.77%. So LinkedIn is really good in that comparison action section. Facebook is more designed for the information comparison. So I would recommend actually using them in tandem. So keep Facebook as a really, it's a lovely, fun way to share photos. It's a great way to keep up to date with clients. Use LinkedIn as the actual acquisition part. So that's where you're more business focused. This is where if you had your own business, you would be looking at recruiting, potential partners or companies that you could go ahead and work with. There was a woman who'd come out of doing her fitness course, and she said, listen, I don't know where to go from here. And she goes, should I be on Facebook or LinkedIn? I'm like, well, what do you want to do? And she goes, I think I want to do it for corporate companies. I want to be able to offer a package. And I was like, then LinkedIn's the place that you need to be. If you were looking for kind of singular people and it was more, hey, everyone, let's catch up at the park, let's do a workout, and everyone kind of pays their fee, then Facebook might be for you, and then LinkedIn's more of an area where you can try and find a really good accountant. You can use it to find a potential job if you decide to work with a large company, or you could even recruit from there. So there's actually an account which is a recruiter account, and that allows you a recruiting tool where you can actively search for people and kind of try and vet them based on your filter. So, yeah, use them in tandem. Facebook more personal, with more information, a little bit comparison, but then LinkedIn, it more features the comparison action section for you.
Excellent.
Does that make sense?
for me, I think everyone's like sponges and has been taking it all in. So I don't have any more questions. They're probably waiting for me to upload it. And as soon as I say that, I get another question in.
Go for it.
How come you don't use, I've got IG sitting there.
Instagram?
Maybe that's it. Yes, thanks. Thank you. I'm very tech savvy, aren't I?
That's right. How come I don't use Instagram? We actually do use Instagram. We're under the name of Simply Smart Marketing. Instagram has a very low conversion rate. If you are selling clothing or you've got something tactile that you can go ahead and produce, then it has a high conversion. However, LinkedIn still has the highest conversion rate of all the social media platforms. Instagram is not very good at being call to action rich. It's very kind of FYI, this is what we're doing. If you want to create a kind of a lot of traffic and that viral nature, it's really good at that. I think it's good to have it. If you have Instagram syncing with Facebook, so every time you do a post to Instagram, it automatically feeds through, that's really handy. But there's a massive difference between these profiles. If you think of social media as a newspaper, LinkedIn is like the careers section, the business section. Facebook is the social media pages, and Instagram is the pull-out section, which has like furniture, yoga, and fun kind of imaging. They're all different, and we need to write for them separately, but they're also targeted at different kinds of people. If you haven't downloaded, if you haven't been in a couple of the other webinars that I've done, there is a web strategy planning template that's available from bluewiremedia.com.au. Download the 33 templates, it's completely free. But there's one in there and it talks about your buyer personas. So these are the different kind of segmented buyers that you have. Let's say for me, my marketing managers, advertising executives. Yours, if you're in the fitness industry, it might be, let's say, mums. It might be women who are currently pregnant. So you might have those segments. You might find that for my advertising executives, they're not on Instagram. I can't market to them there. They're actually on LinkedIn. My marketing managers, they're on Facebook. I can talk directly to them on Facebook, but they don't like to be talked to on LinkedIn. So I have to figure out where all of my potential buyers are, which social media platforms they're on. They're not always on the same ones, like I said. So I can't talk to my advertising executive. I can't push call to action rich content on Facebook. I'm not going to get any engagement from them because they don't use it for business. They use LinkedIn for business. So, but marketing managers, they'll go ahead and use it or use Facebook as kind of a way to go ahead and find a company to work with. So do that first. So go ahead, have a look, figure out where they all are, which social media platforms. If they're on Instagram, then use Instagram. If you find that when you've done your research that none of them are on LinkedIn, fine, then don't be on LinkedIn. But have the proof first to be able to figure out which one you need to be on.
I think that's a great way to finish the session tonight. Thanks so much for your insight on that and definitely showing us the ins and outs of LinkedIn. I think I'm going to be spending a part of tomorrow updating it. So if anyone wants to connect with me, could you please not do it till tomorrow afternoon? So I'll update my photo, I think. So yeah, but I hope you've enjoyed tonight. Sorry.
I'm sorry, also too, if you do have any questions, feel free to connect with me over my profile. I will go ahead and contact you. I still have people from webinars years ago who will still go ahead and send me an email or a LinkedIn message just to say, hey, listen, something's popped up, can you help? I'm not going to charge you for that. Just go ahead and drop me a line. I'm more than happy to assist you or just follow me. So if you need assistance, give me a yell.